scientists have discovered water on Mars. It is an underground reservoir. There could be vast quantities of liquid water trapped in rocks beneath the planet's surface. NASA's Mars Rover just sent back images that will haunt you forever, proof that something shocking lurks beneath the surface. After 12 years of relentless exploration, the rover has uncovered sulfur crystals, a chilling sign that water may have once flowed on the red planet. If water existed, then something else could have lived there, hidden in the shadows of Mars's ancient past. Tune in because the next revelation might change everything we thought we knew about Mars and beyond. Mars has always been that mysterious celestial body hovering in the sky, drawing curiosity from astronomers, scientists, and dreamers alike. As the fourth planet from the Sun, it shares some characteristics with Earth, like its polar ice caps and a day length that is just slightly longer than 24 hours. But appearances can be deceiving. Mars is an inhospitable wasteland, a planet where temperatures can plummet to -80 degrees Fahrenheit. Its atmosphere is incredibly thin, consisting mostly of carbon dioxide, making it nearly impossible for known life forms to survive. Despite these extreme conditions, scientists believe that Mars was once much different. But what we've just uncovered, buried deep beneath the planet's scarred surface, changes everything we thought we knew about Mars and about life itself. The journey to uncover the secrets of Mars began in the 1960s when NASA launched the Mariner missions. In 1964, Mariner 4 became the first successful spacecraft to capture close-up images of Mars, revealing a barren landscape riddled with craters, resembling Earth's moon more than the thriving planet some had imagined. The Viking missions of the 1970s took things further. Viking 1 and Viking 2 did not just orbit the planet, they successfully landed on the surface in 1976. These landers conducted experiments designed to detect signs of life. Although no direct evidence of life was found, the data gathered provided invaluable insights into Mars' composition and climate history. By the 1990s, NASA's approach had evolved, leading to the launch of the Mars Pathfinder mission in 1996. This mission wasn't just another lander, it carried the small but powerful rover, Sojourner. Roughly the size of a microwave, Sojourner became the first rover to move across another planet's surface, analyzing rocks and soil. This breakthrough demonstrated the potential of robotic exploration and paved the way for future missions that would continue to push the boundaries of what was possible. The 2000s marked a new era in Mars exploration. The twin rovers, Spirit and Opportunity, arrived in 2004, outlasting their original mission timelines by years and providing an unprecedented look at the Martian surface. They uncovered evidence that Mars had once experienced conditions suitable for liquid water. Then came Curiosity, one of the most advanced rovers ever built. Launched in 2011 and landing in 2012, it was designed to determine whether Mars ever had an environment capable of supporting microbial life. This rover, about the size of a small SUV, carried an impressive suite of scientific instruments, including a drill, spectrometers, and cameras capable of capturing high-resolution images. Unlike its predecessors, Curiosity relied on a nuclear power source, allowing it to operate continuously without depending on solar energy. Curiosity's arrival on Mars was one of the most nerve-wracking moments in NASA's history. Its landing, known as the 7 Minutes of Terror, involved an intricate sky crane system that carefully lowered the rover onto the Martian surface. The success of this daring maneuver proved that more sophisticated landing techniques could be employed for future missions. Once on the ground, Curiosity wasted no time in getting to work, analyzing soil samples, studying rock formations, and sending back crucial data. Over the years, it has provided evidence that ancient Mars had rivers and lakes, reinforcing the theory that liquid water once flowed on its surface. Now, the discovery of sulfur crystals has taken scientific intrigue to a new level. Sulfur is often associated with water-related processes, and finding these crystals could mean that Mars had liquid water more recently than previously believed. If water existed, there is a possibility, however small, that life could have thrived at some point in the planet's history. This revelation is not just about Mars. It could redefine what is known about planetary evolution and habitability throughout the cosmos. The discoveries made so far are only the beginning. The Perseverance rover, which landed in 2021, is already setting new records in exploration. Equipped with advanced tools, it is collecting rock and soil samples that could one day be returned to Earth for further analysis. First of all, you need to know that when Perseverance landed on Mars, it actually landed in a crater. This crater was later named Jezero. When Perseverance landed on Martian land, scientists were scratching their heads about what kind of rocks they would find on the Jezero crater floor. Some thought the crater floor might be ancient lava flows, while others believed the rocks were sedimentary, brought in by wind or water. So what did Perseverance find? It discovered several types of igneous rock during its first year, including lava flows and rocks that formed from slowly cooling magma. Igneous rocks are great for telling us information about the history of their surroundings. They have crystals that can tell scientists when and how these rocks formed. Even cooler, these rocks showed evidence of interaction with water. This is a big deal because it means these rocks could have recorded conditions that were habitable for microbial life. If Perseverance's igneous samples make it back to Earth, scientists could answer some major questions about Mars's history, like the evolution of its interior, volcanic processes, and the age of the geological units that filled Jezero crater. Another incredible thing found by Perseverance was ancient lake beds. At a spot called Wildcat Ridge within Jezero's well-preserved sedimentary fan deposit, Perseverance hit the jackpot. It found evidence of an ancient lake environment. Not only were these sediments likely deposited in a standing body of water, but they also continued to interact with water long after they formed. This means that the environments recorded within the rocks at Wildcat Ridge would have been habitable for ancient microbial life. This type of rock is perfect for preserving possible signs of ancient life. Now, the plan is to bring these samples back to Earth for detailed study. Scientists want to search for the presence of organic molecules and look for the chemical and textural signs of ancient life. Curiosity, not to be outdone, has also made some incredible discoveries. One of its big finds was in Gale Crater, where it landed. Curiosity discovered evidence of ancient water flows, including riverbeds and lake beds. These areas would have been perfect for life if it ever existed on Mars. Curiosity's instruments analyzed the rocks and found that Mars had the right conditions for life for millions of years. Curiosity also found a variety of organic molecules in the Martian soil. Organic molecules are the building blocks of life, and finding them on Mars suggests that the planet might have had all the ingredients necessary for life in its past. Plus, Curiosity found seasonal methane spikes in the atmosphere. Methane can be produced by biological processes, so this was a huge clue that Mars might still be geologically active or even have some form of life producing the gas. While Curiosity was on its mission to explore the Gale Crater, Perseverance made history on Mars. It created oxygen. The Mars Oxygen In Situ Resource Utilization Experiment, or MOXIE, made oxygen out of the carbon dioxide in Mars's atmosphere for the first time ever. MOXIE ran 16 times and produced a total of about 4 ounces of oxygen. That's enough to support an astronaut for roughly 4 hours. Not a lot, but a significant step toward making Mars habitable. MOXIE really outdid itself as it surpassed NASA's expectations by creating up to 12 grams of oxygen an hour. This breakthrough technology wrapped up its 2-year mission in September 2023, completing its final run. The success of MOXIE is a giant leap toward future human exploration of Mars, as it shows we can generate life-sustaining oxygen right on the planet. Another cool thing that Perseverance does on Mars is listen to the sounds of the planet. For the first time, scientists have been able to hear what the Martian atmosphere sounds like, thanks to microphones on board the rover. So far, Perseverance has recorded a 24-hour playlist of Martian sounds. It captured noises from its own tools, like the gaseous dust removal tool, and even the wind blowing across the Martian plains. This audio gave scientists some fascinating insights. For one, they discovered that the speed of sound on Mars is slower than on Earth. This is due to the thin carbon dioxide atmosphere. Mars's atmosphere also affects the volume of sounds, which varies with the seasons. During low-pressure seasons, the microphone picked up mostly silence. On Mars, sounds you would hear on Earth would be quieter and more muffled. High-pitched noises like whistles or birds chirping would be tough to hear. This new way of analyzing Mars's atmosphere helps scientists understand its dynamics better. It is not just about the sounds themselves, but what they tell us about the environment. What we love most about Perseverance is its photography technique. Have you heard about its 360 degrees photography? Mars up close, the Perseverance rover can capture stunning 360 degrees photos of the Martian landscape. So, scientists no longer have to wish to look around the red planet as if they were standing right there. Perseverance is already offering them incredible panoramic shots. These photos provide scientists with detailed views of the terrain and help them identify interesting geological features and plan the rover's next moves to dig deeper into Mars's mysteries. Perseverance also has a supercam, which is a versatile tool that's pretty much a rock star in planetary exploration. Supercam sits atop the rover's mast and combines several scientific instruments. It includes a camera, laser, and spectrometers, all working together to analyze the composition of Martian rocks and soil from a distance. Supercam's laser can zap rocks and vaporize a tiny bit of their surface. This process, called laser-induced breakdown spectroscopy, creates a plasma that emits light. The spectrometers then analyze this light to determine the chemical makeup of the rock. This allows scientists to study the elemental composition of Martian rocks without physically touching them. Volcanic rocks, for example, help us understand the planet's volcanic history and internal processes. The presence of these rocks suggests past volcanic activity, which could have contributed to creating a habitable environment by releasing heat and gases. Sedimentary rocks, on the other hand, are formed by the accumulation of sediments, which are often transported by water or wind. Perseverance also found silica and phosphates in Martian soil. Silica, especially in its hydrated form, can indicate past water activity because it often forms in wet environments. On Earth, silica is found in places like hot springs, which are teeming with microbial life. So, finding silica on Mars suggests that similar environments might have existed there in the past, providing habitats for potential Martian microbes. Phosphates are another amazing discovery. Phosphorus is a key element for life, playing a vital role in DNA, RNA, and energy transfer within cells. The presence of phosphates in Martian rocks could mean that the basic building blocks for life were available on Mars. This bolsters the idea that Mars could have been habitable at some point in its history. The combination of volcanic and sedimentary rocks, along with the presence of silica and phosphates, tells us the story of a Mars that was once very different from the cold, dry planet we see today. These findings suggest that water was present in Jezero crater and that maybe the environment was once habitable. Water is a key ingredient for life as we know it. The evidence of past water on Mars raises exciting possibilities about ancient Martian life. Perseverance has been tracing the trail of ancient water for years, and it has made some interesting discoveries tracing the trails of ancient water. The one thing that scientists always wanted to know about Mars was whether there was ever water on Mars. Now we finally know the answer, and the answer is a resounding yes. The evidence keeps piling up thanks to satellite missions, rovers, and landers. Satellites orbiting Mars have provided a bird's-eye view of the planet's surface, revealing dried-up riverbeds, ancient lake beds, and even vast valley networks. These features strongly suggest that water once flowed across Mars. But it is the rovers and landers that give us the up-close and personal details. For example, scientists already knew that Jezero crater used to be a lake, but thanks to images from Perseverance, they now realize that the history of water in this crater is far more complex and dynamic than they originally thought. The rover's images show that sediments entering Jezero's lake were deposited in a delta. This indicates that water flow was not just a one-time event, but likely persisted for a long period. Even more interesting is the evidence of late-stage high-energy flooding that carried massive boulders into the crater. The origin of these later floods remains a mystery, but each observation helps scientists piece together Mars' watery past. Discovering minerals and rock formations that indicate the presence of water is also important. This brings us to the recent discovery made by NASA. Do you know what proof we have found that water really existed on this red planet? On May 30th, NASA's Curiosity rover surprised scientists as it found bright yellow sulfur crystals inside a rock it accidentally cracked open. Since October 2023, Curiosity had been exploring a Martian region rich in sulfates. These sulfates are salts that form when water evaporates, typically leaving behind sulfur-based minerals. But the recent discovery was different. The rock that Curiosity drove over contained pure sulfur, not just sulfur mixed with other materials. This discovery left scientists both puzzled and excited. You might think of sulfur and immediately recall the smell of rotten eggs. Thankfully, pure sulfur is odorless. It forms under very specific conditions, none of which had been previously associated with this part of Mars. The fact that Curiosity found an entire field of these bright sulfur rocks is like finding a hidden treasure in an unexpected place. Curiosity has been off-roading in the Jedi's Valley's channel, which is a groove winding down Mount Sharp's side. The rover's mission has been to study the layers of its surface to understand when and where Mars might have had the conditions to support microbial life. Scientists had spotted the Jedi's Valley's channel from space long before Curiosity's launch. They believe the channel was carved by liquid water and debris flows, which left a trail of boulders and sediment down the mountainside. The main goal has been to figure out how this landscape evolved over billions of years. Since arriving earlier this year, curiosity has been investigating whether ancient floods or landslides created the large mounds of debris in the channel. The latest findings suggest that some debris piles are likely from violent water flows, while others seem to result from dry landslides. This conclusion comes from examining the rocks in the debris mounds. Water-carried stones are typically rounded like river rocks, but some mounds contain angular rocks, which indicates they may have been deposited by avalanches. Other than this, the presence of white halo shapes in some rocks shows where water caused chemical reactions. This provides us further evidence of past water activity. While scientists have been making their own discoveries on Mars, some UFO conspiracy theorists came up with some wild claims about the red planet. Some UFO enthusiasts believe they have made an incredible discovery by spotting a ring of stones arranged in a circle on Mars. They have been calling it Mars-henge, after the famous Stonehenge on Earth. This find has started all kinds of wild theories and debates among space fans. Some think these stones might be the remnants of an ancient Martian civilization. They wonder if Mars had its own Stonehenge, maybe even linked to ancient Earth cultures or built by visitors from our planet a long time ago. This idea has excited many people who love to speculate about the mysteries of Mars. They imagine what kind of life might have existed there and whether it had any connection with ancient civilizations on Earth. But not everyone is convinced. Most scientists and researchers who spend their lives studying space and planets are pretty skeptical. They believe that this discovery is fascinating, sure, but they don't believe Mars-henge is evidence of an ancient Martian society. They think people might be letting their imaginations run wild in Mars-red deserts. Some enthusiasts also see signs of an old Martian society in photos taken by NASA. They spot shapes that look like pyramids and statues with human-like features. These images have started many crazy stories and ideas about what might have been on Mars in the past. Some space fans are certain that these shapes are too perfect to be natural. They believe these could be the remains of buildings and art from a time when a smart society lived on Mars. People who love these theories imagine Mars was not always a cold, empty place. They picture a time when it might have been full of life, with cities and art similar to ancient civilizations on Earth. However, not everyone agrees with these ideas. Scientists who are experts on planets and life beyond Earth look at the same pictures and see a different story. They explain that Mars has been shaped by wind, dust, and time. The shapes some think look like pyramids or faces could have been made by natural processes, like wind blowing sand and rocks for millions of years. These natural forces can create shapes that seem familiar or special to us, even when they are just regular rocks or hills. Scientists also talk about something called pareidolia. This is when our brains see patterns like faces or objects in random things. It is the same thing that happens when we see shapes in clouds. This trick of the mind can make us think we are seeing something familiar, like a face or a pyramid, even when it is just rocks and shadows. So while the idea of Mars-henge and other supposed Martian monuments is exciting and fun to think about, the scientific community does not believe in it. They believe these formations are most likely natural, shaped by Mars' harsh environment over millions of years. But why do we so strongly want Mars to be inhabitable? It's simple. Earth is facing serious challenges: climate change, pollution, resource depletion. Everything is pushing our planet to its limits. If an asteroid hit or if nuclear or biochemical wars broke out, humanity could be wiped out in a second. This is why we need a backup plan, and Mars is the best candidate. Elon Musk has also seen the same problem and come up with a similar solution. It is why he is so keen on sending humans to Mars. It is also the reason NASA has been working so hard and helping Elon to make it livable. They see Mars as a potential lifeboat for humanity that can ensure our survival even if Earth becomes uninhabitable. Do you think it's possible? Can we really live on Mars? Share your opinions with us in the comments below. If you want more mysteries uncovered, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel because we have got a lot more of this. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.